Parkour is a fundamental part of Minecraft, just like PvP or building. You just jump from one block to another block. But for over 16 years, players have constantly improved on their parkour skills and pushed the limits on what was thought to be humanly possible. Parkour has truly advanced, and nowadays, it's just ridiculous. So, how did we get here? I'll be taking you through the history of Minecraft's hardest jumps. When Minecraft released in May of 2009, the hardest jump was just a 2-block jump. But later that year, the first proper parkour map surfaced. Players realized that the 2-block jump with the landing raised by a block is possible, and so is a 2-block diagonal jump. People started getting more creative with their jumps, using blocks themselves as an obstacle. This 2-block jump with a wall blocking it is probably the hardest jump of 2009. As the game evolved and got more popular, players made more and more parkour maps. New blocks were being added, for example, cactuses, which would be used in parkour to force the player to time their jumps. But still, at this time, Minecraft was really limited, so the hardest jumps never really changed from 2009 to late 2011, until Minecraft did something huge. With the release of Beta 1.8, sprinting was added, which opened up so many possibilities for parkour. 2011's hardest jump would end up being the 4-block jump, and in 2012, people discovered that you could jump around blocks, doing what we now call to be neos. Speedrunning parkour maps really started to take off around this time, and doing a neo could save you some time, skipping a couple jumps, but players wanted to push it even further, from the single neo to the double neo to the triple neo, which was thought to be an impossible jump until the Polish YouTuber Bremu verified it on August 26, 2013. This was the first time in Minecraft's history that parkour had truly advanced, the first advancement of so many more to come. Unfortunately though, in 2014, there wasn't any jump verified that was harder than the triple neo. The closest we got to beating it though was the double knee-up, a 2-block neo with the landing raised by a block. But in 2015, some jumps that might potentially be harder than the triple neo were verified. A ladder neo, this double neo with trap doors extending outward, and the 2x1 cross neo. I think out of all of them, the hardest one is the 2x1 cross neo, making it the hardest jump of 2015, finally beating the triple neo. Parkour legend Creo enters the scene, with him verifying the hardest jump of 2016, the 2-block momentum head hitter 5-block jump. You basically have to spam the spacebar just right to get enough momentum to make the 5-block gap. And this is actually quite a leap in difficulty from the 2x1 cross neo. In 2017, parkour's popularity had a little bit of a resurgence, and parkour YouTuber Uber, known for discovering the 5-block jump, released a video called Top 10 Hardest Jumps Minecraft Parkour. And if we simply go to the number 1 spot, the hardest jump of 2017 is the 3-block ceiling triple neo. Having the 3-block ceiling there actually makes the jump a little bit more precise because you have less air time. Except, I don't think that's correct. If we go to the number 3 spot, it's the 1-block momentum head hitter double cross neo, which I actually think is harder than the 3-block ceiling triple neo. Although the 3BC triple neo requires a more precise turn, I think this jump more than makes up for it with the fact that you have to spam spacebar just to get the right momentum. But that still isn't the hardest jump verified in 2017. Parkour legend Entity Wolf verified 2 and then 3 triple neos chained together on the same day. While not technically being a singular jump, doing 3 triple neos in a row is definitely harder than the jumps in Uber's video. In 2018, parkour was about to be changed forever. We discovered a way to go 2.04% faster in Minecraft. This is the 45 strafe. The 45 strafe is an advanced parkour technique that has become a staple of modern parkour. To do it, you need to press a strafe key after jumping and flick your mouse to 45 degrees. Sounds simple enough, but you have to do it as fast and as close to 45 degrees as possible, or else it just won't work. Although it was a huge breakthrough, the 45 strafe isn't actually the hardest jump verified in 2018. A new player named Fire Dreadlord pushed the limits in his own way by verifying tons of difficult jumps. He verified the cobble wall to fence neo, which was insane for its time and already harder than anything that's come before it, and he decided to buff it, doing the fence to fence neo just a couple days after. And that still wasn't the hardest jump verified in 2018. He verified this monster of a jump called the Waza ladder, named after the parkour course it came from, which was a real challenge for its time. People didn't think the jump was possible without the ladder going down a block, like in the course, and Fire proved them wrong. You can see all the comments are just stunned. In 2019, a lot of jumps were verified, but let's focus on the 3 hardest jumps verified that year, starting off with the trapdoor cross neo. This jump is absurd, and the verifier, Onazan, used a really horrible strategy to verify it. The strat required him to turn outward and then turn back in again. Nowadays, there's a much better strat with a far easier turn to do the jump with, but it's still pretty difficult. Because of the new strategy though, I think it's actually the easiest of the 3 jumps. Remember the 45 strafe that was verified last year? Well, this next jump, verified by Rex, requires 2 of them in a row. Doing multiple 45 strafes is so much harder than just 1, because you need to flick back to 0 and then back to 45 again. You can't just hold your angle at 45 degrees, because if you jump strafe while at 45, you actually lose speed and end up going to the side. He verified another double 45 strafe earlier in the year, but this one is a lot more precise. And although it's very close, I think our final jump, the 2-block momentum triple neo by Entity Wolf, is the hardest jump of 2019. It uses 2 different parkour mechanics, the 45 strafe and also backwards momentum, which requires precise inputs to execute. Combining these 2 together will get you enough distance to make the triple neo with such short momentum. But in 2020, big things were happening. Uber has just made the course called 5 Jumps to Parkour Champion, which were, well, 5 very difficult jumps, which were unverified at the time. At this point, Rex became very dominant in the parkour community. He verified 4 out of the 5 jumps, and also the hardest jump of 2020. After completing the first 2 jumps, Rex found himself against the head-to-head neo. It requires 2 precise turns and utilizes a parkour mechanic called inertia. Basically, there comes a point that if you move too slowly, Minecraft stops moving you. But this is actually applied independently for each specific axis. So if you move too slowly on the x-axis while retaining a lot of speed on the z-axis, Minecraft only cancels your x-axis movement, which is exactly what this jump exploits. And after 5 hours of attempts, Rex verified the head-to-head neo. But he didn't even stop there. After completing the entire course, he verified a buffed version of the jump. The actual hardest jump in 2020, the head to cobble wall neo. Even though the jump sticks out a little bit more than the head-to-head, you have to go upward a little bit, which actually makes it 0.014 blocks more precise than the head-to-head neo. And he landed the jump by 0.0005 blocks. Yeah, so that's kind of the level of numbers we'll have to get used to from here on out. But in 2021, a player named MindPvPkill wanted to take the head-to-head Neo to the next level. Since it's such a precise jump, it always used elevation momentum because jumping gives more speed. But he wanted to do the head-to-head Neo with flat momentum. Everyone thought it was impossible, but after he managed to do it 2-assisted, he decided to try it out for himself. And after 50 hours of grinding and 30,000 attempts, he verified it, making it the hardest jump of 2021. So remember the double 45 strafe? Well, by this point, the triple 45 strafe had actually already been verified. But in 2022, people wanted to push it even further. They wanted to do the quad 45. There was a bit of a race and many different players were going for the jump. The player KReady2 even getting only 0.0009 blocks away from making it. But there could only be one player who would end up on top. Enter Lapis Lala. He spent almost 100 hours himself and got a devastatingly close fail, only missing the jump by 0.00004 blocks. But he didn't give up, and on the 3rd of December, he would be the one to finally do it. Being only possible by 0.00067 blocks, this was one of the most precise jumps ever verified. But in 2023, a new player named Hanabi shocked the parkour community. He was an anomaly. In just a span of 2 months after he started, he had progressed his 45 strafe skill to become one of the best in the world. His progression was so fast that it was suspicious, and he was even accused of cheating by the best players. But while there were a few anomalies, there wasn't enough evidence to prove anything. As a world-class speedrunner who had held the world record multiple times on set seed, he was just simply better at the game. So after he beat the quad 45 and even verifying a buffed version of the quad 45, he decided to try the unthinkable, the penta 45 strafe. It's only possible by 0.0004 blocks, way more precise than even the quad 45. And after spending 50 hours grinding the jump, he did it.
Oh, made it! Oh shit! I did it! I fucking did it! Yes!
5 45 strafes in a row, and he did it by 0.0001 blocks. The hardest jump of 2024 though is this monster of a jump, the cobble wall to cobble wall winged Neo. It's only possible by 0.00025 blocks, so much less than even the penta 45. You have to basically get a perfect turn and hit every single angle required perfectly down to the pixel. During the turn, if you moved your mouse just one more pixel too far in or too far out, you would not make the jump. But the player 1BMM wanted to do the impossible. He was practicing a heavily nerfed version of the jump, and he made it by so much that he would have only missed the real jump by 0.00035 blocks. Making it that close told him that nothing was impossible. And over the next 2 months of grinding, he would get 2 attempts that were both within 0.0002 blocks of making it, missing it by 0.00019 and 0.00012 blocks. But only an hour and 30 minutes after getting that devastatingly close fail, he made it, by less than a 10,000th of a block.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
It's crazy that this was even verified, and we're probably close to the limit of what's humanly possible, right?
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
On the 1st of June 2025, 1BMM pushed the limits even further and verified the new hardest jump in the game, the 2x2 Nyx Neo. Even though this jump is actually possible by a lot more than the cobble wall winged Neo, you cannot underestimate it. Not only is it still extremely precise, it requires incredibly uncomfortable turning, which is insanely difficult to perform, and to truly appreciate the jump, and especially its turn, you're gonna have to watch it in slow motion. And that's the hardest jump that has ever been verified. But it's important to remember that this jump is a culmination of every single jump from before. Every single small bit of progression and discovery that the parkour community has achieved over the past 16 years of Minecraft's existence.